Hi, this is Jessica Pilgreen from Me and My Laptop, and today I've created a tutorial about how to use digital Post-its for your distance learning. Today I'm working in Google Slides, but you could also use PowerPoint if you prefer. PowerPoint isn't free, but it does have a lot more fonts and other things that you can do with your images to make it a little bit more visually appealing. The tricky thing about making digital Post-its is that you really want to create two separate layers. You want a background or workspace that cannot be moved, and then you want on top of that the Post-its that students can move around the page. Today, for this demonstration, I'm going to be making a very simple fact versus opinion sorting activity. So first, let's make the static background. I can click on background, and then I'm going to choose an image. I want to use a corkboard. I'm going to apply it to this page, and now I have my background. I'm also going to insert a line down the center of the page. Essentially, I'm creating two columns here. I can change the line color if I'd like to, and I can also change the thickness of the line. Now I'm going to create headings for each of the two sides of this sorting activity. On each side, I'm going to insert a text box. This side will say fact, and the other side will say opinion. To add some visual appeal, I'm going to make sure that my text is centered. I'm going to choose a different font, and I'm also going to fill this text box with a color. Let's try green. I'm going to make the font a little bit larger so it's easier to see during the activity, and if I want to, I can resize my text box and move it around on the page. Now I've created another text box for opinion. At this point, if you would like to, you could also add some images. Now that I'm finished with the static background, I'm going to make sure that none of these pieces can be moved around later by students. Under File, I'm going to choose Download, and then I'm going to download it as an image. You can use JPEG or PNG. Now that I've saved this background as one image together, I'm going to create another slide, and I am going to set the image that I just saved to the background. Choose the image, upload, and now I'm going to choose the image that I had saved. Now that this is the background, I can click on each of the items and you'll see that I cannot manipulate anything on this background. Now it's time to create the actual sticky notes. The sticky notes are basically just text boxes, and you can type directly into these. For example, I'm going to write a fact: the sky is blue. And then I can do anything I would like to do with that in terms of adjusting the font and the size. I'm also going to fill in this text box with a color of my choice. I think that the Post-it notes look better if there's no outline, but I do like to do a drop shadow just to give it that 3D effect. Now I have one sticky note created, and I'm going to add it to the center of the page before I create more. I'm going to change the sentence, and I'm also going to change the fill color. Let's do purple. And I'm just going to click on this Post-it, and I'm going to drag it so that it lines up with the other Post-it that's already in this activity. Now I've created multiple Post-its for the students to sort. Now when you share this activity on Google Classroom, you're going to want to list it as classwork. Click on Create, create an assignment, and you're going to upload it from your Google Drive. When you do this, you don't want to click on Students Can View the File because then they won't be able to drag and drop any items. What you want to do instead, you don't want to pick Students Can Edit File because then they'll all be working in the exact same document. Instead, pick Make a Copy for each student. This will make sure that each student who opens the file will have their own space to work in, and it won't affect the spaces that other students are working on. Now you'll see that I've added a title and instructions. I've changed the points, and I'm going to leave this without a due date. Now I can click on Assign, and the students are ready to go. This activity should now show up in your students' stream. As a warning, students will not be able to move around any of these post-its while they're in presentation mode. They'll need to hit the escape button and be in edit mode instead. We're only dealing with a few digital post-its. You can put them directly on the workspace like you see here. If you have students working with multiple post-its, you might want to place them slightly off the workspace as you see here. Here's another example of a static workspace and manipulating different post-its to move around information on that workspace. You can also create a variation on digital post-its by creating digital flags. Students can move these around to label certain items on the workspace. To add visual appeal, you can upload some clip art like what I have here with this watercolor tree from Paula Kim's studio on Teachers Pay Teachers, and you can combine your visuals with a color scheme. Here's a fun variation on digital post-its. Create a drag and drop activity for math. Students can drag and drop the cards that create a specific combination. That's the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I hope you found it useful.